Hello guys, today we are going to discuss how your trauma leads you to the behavior when you're stuck being broke, being without money, being not able to do something, and maybe you're stuck in the work where your boss pays you just little to survive, and how it works in your situation. Let's start from one very not obvious thing that you have to think about it. When you struggle with money, when you're in the situation which you don't have nothing, when you barely have some funds to make ends meet, it means that in this situation you struggle and you feel helpless. And for some reason, subconsciously, you mark this feeling is something familiar. This is what you learned to feel. That's how you were feeling during your childhood. If you have like CPTSD or childhood PTSD or any child trauma like early loss or something. If you feel this right now, it means your brain already know what to do. Your brain already know that only one possible thing to do right now is just to freeze, just to feel nothing, do nothing, and maybe trying to ruminate, maybe trying to space out a little bit, be out of your body, because one thing you want to be right now, one place you want to be right now, it's not here. It's not here when you're suffering, because when you were a kid, when you were suffering from your childhood, from neglecting, from abuse, from anything, at that very moment, you learned that the only way to survive is just freeze and be spaced out, and you couldn't change anything. So, and now, for example, imagine you're in the bad situation, in the bad financial situation, and it's quite common for people who has CPTSD or childhood CPTSD, because you have so many triggers, because your nerve system is triggered and damaged, because your psychological state is damaged, and it's hard to function. You have low function, and it's hard to function for you in the society, and that's why you probably struggle with finances, you're dependent, and so on and so forth. And this situation, it gives you immediate and permanent flashback to your past, where you felt helpless, and as a child you couldn't change anything, and only one thing you could think about was like, okay, when I grow up I will change anything. And you was ruminating these thoughts again and again and again, trying to space out, trying to fantasize, etc., etc., etc. And that's how you respond right now. And even if you are doing some diary, if you're doing some, like wish board, if you write down your goals and stuff, and you imagine like how great I will be when I do something, it might occur that in the now, in the present, you didn't do anything, and you didn't do anything because you just think that it's impossible. Because as long as you understand that you're in a bad situation and you need to take an action to make it better for you, you reconciled the past, and you have flashbacks from the past, and here you go. You are now having a flashback, and you are now having like emotional struggles, and you are now having this feeling of helpless. And the next step, you need just to forget about it, space out. You need to freeze, and you're like, okay, I can, because your subconscious part of your brain says, I cannot do anything. I just need to stop doing anything. Just freeze, And you're freezing, and after that you start to space out. You started like, okay, I cannot do anything. Now I need to go to the future. And the future is perfect. Yeah, I can do anything in the future. I can set big goals, etc., etc., etc. And in this point, this is like a shot, like a shot in your leg, right now, just because it doesn't help. It never did. What you're doing, you're trying to escape reality, because the here and now moment reconciles in your memory your childhood when you were catched in this situation, in the bad situation. But the very crucial difference between past and between now. That in the past, you wasn't able to do anything. In the past, you wasn't able to you wasn't able to change it, because all you need to do is just freeze and wait until your parents stop arguing, or until you they feed you or something, you know, like which might be different, until they notice you, or until you finally get older and get out of the house. That's all you could do being a child. And now you're having troubles, and now it's a little bit different. Now you can change your life. I know it sounds like, I don't want to sound like some motivation coach, like, okay, you can do it. Of course, you know that you can do it, but I want you to notice that when you think about future, you are escaping in the future from the now, because the feeling which you're feeling right now, they reconciles the memory of the past, where you're trapped, when you're trapped in the unbearable pain, helpless, and so on. And that's why you're choosing not dealing with the here and now, because it causes immediate flashbacks, but you're choosing to dream about future, and you're like dream, and fantasize, or even freeze, or procrastinate, or saying like, okay, I have like another like couple years to waste. And then you started to blame yourself for not being proactive, for not being productive, and stuff like this. And it's also the part of the pattern, yeah, because you blame yourself for being helpless. That's what your parents probably did, and maybe they do. That's what they did when you were a child. That's what they did when you were scared, when you're trying to escape, when you're trying to just like disappear. And after that, they're saying like, okay, why you're not acting out? Why you're not the best? I know, the best student in the class yet. Why you always fear of everything? Just punch this bad guy in the face. Don't let bullies to bully you, you know. And they give you completely different meaning. So that's how it works. And that's why the only way to improve your current financial situation is start to reconcile with the willpower in your mind that the present moment is very different from your experience in the past. And every time when you try to do something and you feel like procrastination, or you feel helpless, or you feel that like, okay, I don't need to focus on what I'm doing now, I need to focus what I'm gonna do in the past. As soon as you start to focus, at this, you lose it. You need to focus on the present moment and tell yourself, okay, I'm in the present now, I'm doing this, and I'm trying to escape because the present situation reminds me of what I experienced in my childhood. And I'm trying to escape. I'm trying to do nothing. I'm trying to build my perfect sandcastle, yeah, in the future. Just in this moment, just fix yourself in the present, and just remind yourself you are now in the here and now, and nothing is dangerous. And all you need to do is just do little action. Try to do little action. You don't need to do all your stuff. Try to do just like 10 minutes. And of course you will feel struggle, and you will feel helpless, because a lot of time it didn't work this way. A lot of time you didn't succeed. A lot of time you was desperate and helpless. But now, when you do it one time, and then again, and you tell yourself, okay, I'm in a bad stage now, I'm struggling financially, but what can I do right now? Maybe I can sleep early today. That's a solution, because in the next day in my job I will be more productive, and maybe I'll get promotion in the end of the month. Or what can you do right now? If you're doing like cold calls, okay, maybe I can do just one cold calls, or at least maybe I can plan some cold calls. And it doesn't oblige me to anything. If I do bad cold calls and I can do anything, can sell anything, that's okay. At least I did. And just try to start with very little, and you will see how your situation will change. But this action, it takes time. And that's what I teach in my program. In this action, they actually triggered in two parts. They triggered us in the subconscious level, and they triggered us in conscious level. And in subconscious level, they trigger our patterns connected with the parents, and I have perfect training for this. I call this training fundamentals. Fundamentals, it's freely because it's about mom and dad. All about your relationship with your mom and dad, and how to get through your relationship with mom and dad, how to build the correct understanding and image within your mind, within your psyche, because it doesn't matter what is your relationship with your parents right now. It's just supposed to be right here, because when it's right here, you're doing the right decision. And this course helps to let go a lot of resentment, fear, guilt, and so on. And another course I have, it calls Anti-Hustle course and Anti-Hustle program. It's for people who is struggling with the big thoughts and big goals, but cannot just finish a little bit, yeah? Procrastinate, because that's what I call success neurosis. And about success neurosis, you can learn in my free webinar. Just feel free to check the description. And of course, guys, as long as in my first video, let me some feedback in the comments below. I would really appreciate it. And thank you for being here. Thank you for listening, and see you next time. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you liked this video.